There is one sentence, just one. And when you say it at the right moment, in the right way, with the right energy behind it, she will replay it in her mind for days. Not because it was romantic, not because it was clever, not because it was something she had never heard before, but because it touched something inside her that most men never even come close to reaching. And today, I am going to tell you exactly what that sentence is. But more importantly, I am going to show you why it works. Because if you understand the psychology behind it, you will never struggle to create a lasting impression again. Stay with me until the end. Because the way you use this, the timing, the delivery, the energy, matters just as much as the words themselves. And I am going to walk you through all of it. Here is something most men do not understand about how the female mind works. A woman does not remember everything you say. She remembers how you made her feel. She remembers the moments that caught her off guard. She remembers the times when something you said landed in a place she was not expecting. And her brain, without her permission, returns to those moments. In the car on the way home, at her desk when she should be working, at night when the room is quiet and her thoughts are her own. The human brain is wired to revisit emotionally significant experiences, especially the ones it cannot fully resolve, especially the ones that felt different from everything else. And that is exactly what the right sentence does. It creates an emotional imprint, something unresolved, something that makes her mind keep coming back, trying to understand what she felt and why she felt it. Now, before I tell you the sentence, I need you to understand something crucial. This is not a line. This is not a trick. This is not something you memorize and deploy like a script, because the moment it feels manufactured, the moment she senses you are performing, it loses everything, every single drop of its power. What makes this sentence work is authenticity. It works because it comes from a place of genuine observation, from a man who was actually paying attention, from a man who saw something real in her and had the courage to say it out loud. That is what makes it unforgettable. Not the words, the intention behind them. So here is the sentence. Are you ready? There is something about you that I cannot quite figure out yet, and I find that genuinely interesting. That is it. Simple, calm, understated, and yet psychologically, it is one of the most powerful things you can say to a woman. Let me break down exactly why. The first reason it works is because it creates an open loop in her mind. The human brain cannot resist an unfinished thought. When you tell her there is something about her you cannot figure out, her mind immediately starts asking, what is it? What does he see? What is he noticing that nobody else has? And because you do not answer that question, because you leave it open, her brain keeps working on it long after the conversation ends. She is not just thinking about what you said. She is thinking about herself through your eyes. And that is an extraordinarily powerful place for her mind to be. The second reason it works is because it communicates something most men never communicate: curiosity. Genuine, unhurried curiosity about who she actually is. Most men tell women what they think of them immediately. You are beautiful, you are funny, you seem really smart, and those things are fine, but they are assessments, they are conclusions. They say, I have already figured you out. But when you say there is something about you I cannot quite figure out yet, you are saying something completely different. You are saying, you are more complex than I expected. You are saying, I am paying attention and I am still discovering. You are saying, you are worth figuring out. And for a woman who has spent her life being assessed and categorized within minutes, that feels like a breath of fresh air. The third reason it works is the word yet. That single word does something remarkable. It implies continuation. It implies that this conversation is not the end. It implies that you intend to keep paying attention, that you are not done discovering who she is. Yet is not just a word. It is an unspoken invitation. And her subconscious hears it clearly. The fourth reason is the final part of the sentence. And I find that genuinely interesting. Not exciting, Not attractive, not impressive, interesting. That word choice is deliberate and powerful because interesting is what a man says when he is genuinely engaged, when something has captured his real attention, not his surface attention, his deep attention, and being found genuinely interesting by a man who seems like he has seen a great deal of life. That lands differently than any compliment about her appearance ever could, because appearance is visible to everyone, but being found interesting, being found worthy of a man's real curiosity, that touches something much deeper. Now, let us talk about delivery, because the sentence means nothing without the right delivery. Here is exactly how to use it. First, timing. Do not use this at the beginning of a conversation. Use it after a genuine moment of connection, after she has said something that surprised you, after a pause in the conversation where something real just happened between you, after a moment where you actually felt something shift. That is when you say it, quietly, calmly, without build-up. Second, tone. Do not say it like a compliment you are delivering. Say it like an observation you are sharing. The difference is everything. A compliment seeks a reaction. An observation simply states what is true. Speak slowly. Let your voice drop slightly lower than usual. Make eye contact before you say it. Hold that eye contact for just a moment after. Then let the silence do the rest. Third, do not explain it. This is critical. After you say it, stop. Do not add anything. Do not soften it. Do not elaborate. If she asks what you mean, smile slightly and say, "I am still figuring that out." That response alone will keep her thinking about you for days, because now you have given her 2 open loops instead of 1, and her mind will work on both of them every time the room goes quiet. The 5th thing I want you to understand is this. The sentence works because of what it says about you, not just about her. When you say this, calmly, confidently, without needing a reaction, you communicate something profound about who you are. You communicate that you are a man who pays attention, a man who is not in a rush to reach conclusions, a man who finds depth interesting rather than intimidating, a man who is secure enough to express genuine curiosity without it feeling desperate. And that combination, calm, observant, unhurried, genuine, is exactly the kind of energy that a woman of substance finds irresistible. Not because of what you said, because of who said it, and how he said it. Now I want you to think about someone you are genuinely curious about, someone whose layers you have not fully seen yet, someone who surprises you in small ways when you pay attention. Think about what it is about her that you cannot quite figure out yet. Make it real, make it honest, because when it is real and honest, she will feel that. And a woman who feels genuinely seen by a man who is not rushing, not performing, not trying to impress her. She does not just remember that moment. She carries it with her. She brings it out in quiet moments and turns it over in her mind. She wonders about you in the same way you told her you wonder about her. And that mutual curiosity, that unresolved pull, that lingering question is the beginning of something neither of you will be able to easily walk away from. One sentence, said at the right moment, with genuine intention behind it. That is all it takes to become the man she cannot stop thinking about. Not the loudest man, not the most impressive man, the most real man, the most present man, the man who actually saw her and told her so, in a way nobody ever had before. That is you. That has always been you. You just needed to know what to say.